Well, piano's been a large part of my life. I studied at the Sydney Conservatorium when I was a child and a teenager, and I've loved music. And I've also, because I was nursing for a while, I knew the benefit of the therapeutic benefit of music. And when I came here, I felt that it was really necessary to provide music, but of a different kind. We didn't want to have the type of music where you wheel people in with the crochet blanket over their knees, but really top-notch music. However, we can't afford to pay them the great amount that may be necessary in various recital halls. However, I have succeeded in negotiating with a number of top-notch music professors to allow their students performance experience, and that's been the main objective of this particular thrust of this program, is that we provide free of charge performance experience for these young kids, and they have been performing beautifully. They have been wowing us to such an extent that they keep asking to come back. We have students who belong to top professors such as Professor Max Cook, Professor Darryl Coote from the Monash University, and Professor Ian Holtham from Melbourne University, a few students from the National Academy of Music, and they're just to name a few. And they keep asking, please may we come back to run our repertoire past you before we sit for our exams. Antonio had come out from Italy for a 6-month senior high school exchange program, and he knew one way or another that we would provide some piano for him to practice. He was at one of the high schools here in Melbourne, so he was playing very, very well. So I offered him, apart from the practice experience, but to perform for us. It turns out also that he needed to have that performance for an Eisteddfod, and also he was a jazz player and a jazz composer. And one of the offshoots, apart from the fact that he did perform for us, was that he got himself, after he recorded his jazz compositions here at this piano, he sent it off to Berkeley, and they gave him a 2-week intensive scholarship in Perugia in Italy when he returned there, and he studied with the top jazz performers. And as a result of all of that, those people who had won those particular scholarships were then allowed to perform afterwards in the proper jazz festival, an international jazz festival in Perugia. We also have an 8-year-old, he's now 8, but he started playing for us at 7, and he's one of the professor's, Max Cook's children, or pupils, and he loves to come here to play, but he is a prodigy. We also provide performance experience for the wonderful kids who are here at the high school, Princess Hill High School, and the primary school. They love to come here, and in fact they'd all love us to adopt them because they all want to live here with us. But amongst all of that came this child just out of primary school, first year in high school, Max. And Max just wowed us one lunchtime with his jazz playing on the piano, his own compositions, and his own singing. And now I'm working towards making sure that we nurture this young talent with this Max. We fortunately had last week a fabulous 4-hand concert with Amir Farid and David Patterson, who graced us with their talent and blew us out of the weeds. But it transpires that they would also like to come back. And what's more, Amir Farid would love to bulk out the concert that young Max can play at. So Max can start rubbing shoulders with older people who can give him some guidance. We have a Christmas function, and we call it the Senior Frat House Review, every December, and there's quite a bit of talent here. And we provide some wonderful entertainment, bit silly, but great. And so I will often accompany most of the the things that go on, and I help with the dancing and the choreography. We have a person here who used to dance for the Melbourne Ballet Company, for instance. And so we choreograph these poor people who are dragooned into doing things like Three Little Maids or a ballet by men and all this sort of stuff. And we have great fun and they love it. It's been a wonderful community. We're very, very, very fortunate because we're almost like-minded, and I think that's important when you have a community, that you understand the types of thoughts that we have. And we nurture one another and we care for one another, but we also are very fiercely independent, and I think that's important too.